Hello, this is a video to explain the timers feature of Resource Connect. The timers feature lets you set predefined times in which various admin settings will be changed. So typically this will be used for people to set their web chat as active and inactive at certain times of the day and certain days of the week. But there's various other ways that this feature can be used. In this video, I will be explaining a few of examples of what we can do with this feature. If at a certain point you're listening, you're like, "Yeah, I got it. I don't need to watch anymore." Feel free to turn this off. No problem. All right, so we're going to do an example where, let's say, we want to have our web chat be active from Mondays to Thursdays from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. and then on Fridays from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Let's say Fridays we don't work as long, or you typically don't have people getting your chat on late Fridays, whatever. Okay, so we're going to start off with adding a new timer. Here is a list of which settings can be changed through timers. If there's something that you want to change that you're not seeing in this list, it's because we didn't know you needed to have that changed. So please just send us a message to let us know, and we would be glad to have that added in. So in our example, we're going to want to say our external web chat should be set as active on a certain days. First thing we want to know is, are we going to do this once or repeating? This is going to be a repeating thing. And the way I described it, I said Mondays through Thursdays from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. and then Fridays from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. To set as active, we're just doing the same time from Mondays to Fridays. So we can just, for the active time, have one timer that operates from Mondays to Fridays. And that operates as 9 a.m. You must do things at 15-minute intervals. Hopefully that is not a problem for most situations. All right, so add a timer. And there we go. So our external web chat will be changed to be active on weekdays at 9 a.m. And then let's do a new timer to say when it should be set as inactive. So we're going to again do a repeating timer, this time Mondays through Thursdays at 3 p.m. Add that timer. And now we need another one to say inactive. Repeating again on Fridays, and this time we are going to do 3 p.m. Oops, I made this 3 p.m. I meant to say 5 p.m. It's a good example of how we can come here and just click on the timer and click to edit it. Or if you want, you can click to delete it entirely. All right, so this is going good. We've got things going active at 9 a.m. on weekdays, inactive at 5 p.m. Monday through Thursday, and then inactive on Fridays at 3 p.m. This is just what we need. And for many of you, this is all you'll need to do. Before you go too far away, I just want to make sure that it's clear that you don't need to change your inactive message during the times in which your chat is active. Okay, so it's not like you have to set up a timer that says, oh, at 9 a.m. I want to clear out my inactive message or change my inactive message to be, oh, we are actually active, because no one's going to see this when your chat is inactive. So you don't need to mess with that. There is a timer for changing what your inactive message is, and this is added because maybe you want to have it so that between 5 p.m. and 8 p.m. it says our chat is inactive, but if you send us a message, maybe we'll jump on. And then from 8 p.m. to 9 a.m. it says our chat is inactive. If you send us a message, there's no way we're going to get it because we're human beings and we sleep. Something like that. So you can change what your inactive message is based off of certain times of the day, but it's not something that you would normally do for just normal operation. Okay, so let's do another example. So we've got our chat active during these predictable times, but of course there will be certain days where is not the case. We will like holidays. So let's add a new timer to say that let's just plan ahead for Christmas and say that our web chat will actually be inactive once. And again, we're planning real far ahead here to say December 25th, 2020 at 9 a.m. we want our chat to be inactive. Okay, so notice what's going on here. We have our external web chat setting to be active on weekdays at 9 a.m. And then immediately, like in the same thing, we have external web chat to be inactive at 9 a.m. on the 25th, which is a Friday. And so this is totally fine. It's what's going to happen is the system is going to at 9 a.m. on Friday the 25th, it's going to say, well, it's a weekday, so I'm setting the web chat as active. And then like a fraction of a second later, it will say, oh, well, now it's the 25th and it's 9 a.m., so I'm setting it as inactive. So you don't have to modify your standard dates and times at which your chat runs just for holidays. All you have to do is just make sure that you set your chat to be inactive on the exact time that you want on any kind of overlapping situation like this. And you have to make sure that it's happening in the right order. And so that's what these up-down arrows are for. So, let's say it was like this, you can change the order in which things happen. So if this is not what you want to have happen because it goes from the top down. So it would be like, okay, December 25th at 9 a.m. That's what's happening. It's now. I'm setting it to be inactive. And then it would say, okay, well, it's a weekday. It's Friday the 25th of December is a weekday. So now I'm setting is active. All right. So that's not what you want. You would instead click this down to drag and say, all right, setting to be active. A fraction of a second later, it's turning off only on December 25th. After that happens, let's pretend this was set from last year. After that happens, once the specific date has passed, then it will show up in your use timers section, and you can always just come back here and edit it and say, all right, I'm planning now for Christmas of 2020, edit this timer, and now it's an active timer again. All right. Let's do another thing and say we want to also change our inactive message at 9 a.m. on Christmas, because maybe we want to say, maybe our standard active message says we only are supporting people on weekdays at from 9 to 5, and people will go, well, it is a weekday, it's Friday Christmas morning, it's a weekday. So maybe you want to have a brand new message that says, okay, we want to change our inactive message to say, all right, again, we're going to do Christmas at 9 a.m. and you would write some sort of message to say it's a holiday. So you'll say something like, oh, I know we're usually active during weekdays, but it's a holiday, so sorry. Right? You'll say something like that. And now this will be, your inactive message will be changed at that time. But it's really important to know that you have to also tell it at what time to set back to what it normally is. All right, so we're going to add another new timer and say, okay, we're going to change our inactive message again, this time again once Christmas Day, and we want to change it to go back to our standard message at 3 p.m. And then what is our standard message? Really important to know that there is no way to set what your standard message is. All you're doing is changing what your value is, and if you have something that's standard that you want to go back to, you have to tell it what you want it to go back to and when. So that's what we're doing here. On December 25th at 3 p.m., it should go back to this. and that will get you what you want. Okay, so again, the order here, you can drag things around if kind of visually to you it just makes more sense. Like let's say you added this first, or something happened. You can drag this order around to say, okay, just for my own sake, it just seems better if the order is like this. All right. Um, but it doesn't. The order here doesn't really matter because nothing is overlapping. These top three things are not overlapping. It's this that overlaps, this one here and this one here, and so that's where the order matters. You also notice that this overlaps in time, but the order doesn't really matter because we're changing two different things. Again, visually to me, it makes more sense to have this flow of, okay, we're going to set this as active, and then we're going to change the inactive message. But it's only where we're overlapping with the same time and the same thing that's happening where the order really truly matters. If you're concerned that you're not understanding this order thing properly, what I would suggest is either like 9:02 p.m. on Christmas Day, on whatever day your holiday is set, check the system to make sure it's been set the way you want it to be set, or kind of make up timers to say, so I'm recording this at like 10:55 a.m. in the morning. I'll just add a new timer for 11 a.m. to see if it's going to do what I think it's going to do. I add that timer. I wait 5 minutes. I check to see the system does what I think it's going to do, and my chat looks the way I think it's going to look. And once I'm confident I understand how this works, I delete the timer and set it to be what I want it to be for a real situation. Okay, one more situation that I want to explain, and this only applies to a fraction of people, and that is changing your voice call forwarding number. This will be only for people who have SMS chat enabled, and you either purchased your number through Resource Connect or you transferred your number completely over to us. So we are the full owner of your phone number and no longer your previous telecommunications provider, which is not the typical situation that happens when people transfer the numbers. Usually what we do is we only transfer your SMS messages, but some people do choose to have their full number transferred to us, primarily for situations like this, where this is our SMS chat settings. When our phone number is called, then that voice call should get forwarded to some other phone number. All right, so here's the phone number that we have it set to be forwarding to when our phone number is called. You can now set it so that this phone number gets changed at predictable times of the day. So let's say you have staff that are taking your hotline calls, at different shifts. You can build those shifts into this timers feature. So you can say, Mondays through Fridays from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. I guess we can just do it. So repeating Mondays through Fridays from starting at 9 a.m. We are going to have calls forwarded to I don't know what. All right. And then we would do another timer to say, okay, starting at 2 p.m., we're going to have it forwarded to this other phone number. And then, maybe you would set another phone number at 8 p.m., something like that. All right. So you can have kind of, like I said, different shifts for have people take different shifts of receiving those voice call forwarding numbers voice calls when people dial your SMS phone number. Okay, so those are all the examples I can give now. Again, if you have another thing that you want to have done, then just let us know. And also keep in mind that you might see different items in this list here when you're going and doing it, and that's because after the time of this recording, somebody wrote us to let us know a great idea they had. All right, hope this was helpful, and good luck.